Hey, it's Tupac, and I am playing a simple love story. And I believe it is exactly what the title says. So I'm thinking, well, that's me, and then I pursue one of the two girls. And I read that it should take 20 minutes per girl, or 20 minutes for the first one, and then you skip what you see. It'll probably take 30 minutes overall. My eyes darted around the room as the number of standing classmates dwindled, eventually to none. God damn it, why did we have to do this anyway? It's already been half of the semester and we didn't have a single group project. And I haven't made a buddy in here at all. I looked at Mr. Novel, who skimmed the room looking for anyone who could be paired up with me. Well, Michael, I suppose you could... Yeah, we don't mind having 3 people. A girl leaped over her desk and pulled me down. Mr. Novel gave a nod and began giving instructions. My eyes were on him, but my brain certainly wasn't. Now it seemed like Mr. Novel was going to let me slide by and do this project alone, but that blondie just swiped that chance away. Are they using me because I look like some sort of pushover? It's probably true. I glanced over inconspicuously, examining their faces. That got really loud. Okay. The blonde chattered away to the other girl's dismay. She attempted to shush her friend, but to no use. The former began whispering, well, more like a mixture of shouting and whispering about girl things. Or things that seemed like girl things. I wouldn't know. The topic shifted towards me, I think, since I heard a slight whisper of my name. I probably should look away before they notice. Hey you, Michael. The blonde tapped my shoulder, making me jump slightly. I thought I was sneaky enough, but I suppose not. I have a sickness called laziness, so you gotta take over my part, okay? I took a deep breath. I didn't want to punch another girl this year. What? Okay. Mr. Novel finally finished his monologue and gave the signal for everyone to start. Here, write your name down. The girl slid a handout onto my desk. As I was scrolling out my name, I took a quick look at their names. Aceline, and Emily. Okay, now that he's out of the way, let's get started. What ideas do you guys have? Aceline, you have any? I was thinking battleship, but it has nothing to do with statistics, so I don't really have anything. Yeah, I don't think it does. Well, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Also, what are we doing again? I wasn't paying attention too much. You were too busy oogling my chest, right? Don't worry, it happens all the time. We're supposed to make a gambling game, actually, and write down the chances of winning. Maybe we could do a game where they're supposed to guess what number comes out of the die, and if it's correct, they'll double their bet. Isn't that craps, or like the opposite of it? Emily nodded and jotted down our ideas, not saying a single word while doing so. When we finished explaining, she stretched her arms and sighed confidently. Phew, we finished pretty early. So, Michael, you want to eat with us? I mean, you don't really eat with anyone, right? I've never seen you with anyone. I enjoy the silence, actually. That won't get you anywhere. Come on, eat with us. Oh, I right-clicked. Well, let's save. Because we can. I haven't met anyone new in a long while, so this is a chance to fill my quota. You don't have to come with us if you don't want to. Emily just loves the extra company. It's been a while since I've last eaten with anyone. My family included, actually. As much I wanted to turn down this invitation to a lunch harem, I agreed. No, you're eating lunch. It's not a harem. At that moment, the bell rang and everyone squirmed towards the exit. Emily excitedly rushed towards the exit as well, waiting at the door while Aceline and I were calmly packing up. I assumed we would head towards the cafeteria, but expectations were shut down as they led me over to the library. Once we got there, Emily and Aceline sat down, the former forcefully pulling me down next to her. I could only watch as they emptied out their bags. What, didn't bring anything today? Emily greedily stuffed some rice and watermelon into her mouth. Odd combo. No, I usually eat at the cafeteria. You hungry? You look hungry. Why don't you go get yourself some lunch? Another bite. In hindsight, her lunch sounded disgusting, but I would have loved to take a small bite. The wait is usually long around this time, so I'll most likely have 5 minutes when I actually get something to eat. Aceline ripped a quarter of her sandwich, and placed it upon my lap, along with a small pink napkin. Here, you can have it. I never eat the entire thing. I wasn't too hungry, but since she offered, might as well. Before taking a bite, I thanked her. Are you always by yourself at lunch? Emily popped out a gallon of soda. A gallon of soda? From her bag? I guess. I'm not lonely, I just enjoy having time to myself before class starts again. Sounds like an excuse to me. You don't have any friends to hang out with, right? Did I hit the mark? Ignoring her blunt words, I answered, I suppose I don't have too many. Having fewer friends is better than having a ton of acquaintances. That's something made up by loners, you know? You just gotta get up and make some friends. Do you want to end up alone and dead? I think it's just alone. Could end up dead one day. Being alone isn't bad. Sorry about Emily, she usually just dumps out whatever she's thinking about. Hey, you don't have to apologize for me while I'm telling him the cold hard truth. Emily could have finished her 5-course meal and pulled out... Emily finally finished her 5-course meal and pulled out dessert. An industrial-sized bag of Skitters. Do you like Skitters? I suspected something from her sudden change in tone, but I humored her. I think they taste good, sure. You want one? I nodded and held out my hand, only to be given a single piece. I did say one. Has anyone ever told you you're a little too brash? It's a miracle you became friends with Aceline. By the way, when did the two of you become friends? When? 2 years ago, wasn't it? Aceline nodded. We met through a friend, I think. Yeah, probably. Anywho, why ask that? You two seem like polar opposites is all. 'Cause I'm always telling you the truth of the situation? I would never do that to Aceline. She's too good for that kind of treatment. But the truth is, she's only been friends with me because she's too nice to leave me alone. Not true. She's a nice person. It's just hard to get used to her for most people. Ah, Ace. Lunch is almost ending soon. If we don't leave soon, then we won't make it to the finish line. But the Ace line... What? I learned about that joke from... Anyway, that doesn't matter. Michael, I expect you to choose what topic we're gonna do for the project. And to tell us later. Actually, give us your phone number now. You have unlimited text, don't you? Well, it's limited, but... Good, got it. Aceline, come on. We won't make it to physiology on time if we slug around. Hey, we'll text you later, okay? See you later, Michael. I waved as Emily made a run for it, and Aceline slowly jogged after her. Once their silhouettes had disappeared, I got off the bench and headed towards my calculus class. Calculus was especially boring today since a few people didn't catch up. When that hell ended, I packed up and headed towards the east gate. With the beauty of rock played in my ears, I noticed Aceline. I wanted to act as if I never saw her and continued on home, but she seemed worried about something. Can I save? Try to figure out what's going on with her. I decided to go up to her, changing my daily routine for once. Aceline? Michael, what are you doing here? I was just walking home. You? I was trying to look for something. Look for what? Well, I found a baby robin that fell out of its nest yesterday and I put it back in. But I'm trying to look for it now to see if it's there or not, but I forgot where the nest is and... Jeez. She reminds me a lot of those fairy tale princesses with all the birds flying and singing about. Do you mind if I help out? Oh, would you? I've already checked there and there, so maybe you could check over there? We both scoured the line for a nest for 10 minutes, but no dice. Feeling like we'd never find that bird, I half-heartedly went to another tree expecting to find nothing, only to hear a tiny chirp. How convenient. I found him. I pointed up with a small smile. Oh, he's here. I was worried he fell off again. The little guy looked like some strange fetus from outer space, but he was kinda cute when he opened up his beak and spazzed around, expecting to be fed. You know, I was thinking, we're a lot like these baby birds. I mean, we're still being taken care of right now by our parents and stuff, but sooner or later, we'll have to grow up and get out on our own. That sounds like something out of a Hallmark card. I thought it was kind of deep myself. I meant to tease her, but it seems she took it seriously. Anyway, I would try to relate myself to a baby bird, but I can't get through that through my mind. Do you feel that way too? She nodded. Kinda. Everyone tells me I'm naive and gullible, but it's nice to be that way sometimes. But, like I said, at one point I'll have to grow up. It would be nice, though. We stood there in silence, mainly because Aceline was busy looking at the bird, and because it would have been awkward to say that I wanted to leave. You can leave now if you want. No, it's fine. I could walk you home. Where do you live? She pointed towards the neighborhood across from mine. I would have loved to part ways, actually. I live over there, too. We could walk together if you want. Really? Thanks. It's getting late anyway since the sun's setting. How late were you at school, man? She picked up her things and waved goodbye to the fetus bird. I waved too. The walk to our house was a long one and the way back was double. I have a strong feeling my legs will be sore tomorrow. At 8 in the morning, I got a text from Emily commanding me to show up at John's Coffee in an hour. I asked if we could meet up later, then lace around as I waited. Half an hour later, she sent me a simple no. John's Coffee wasn't too far away, so I got there 10 minutes past 8. Once I arrived, I spotted a short brown-haired girl waiting at the counter. Hey, Aceline. Where's Emily? She's saving us a table over there. I walked over to Emily, who furiously stabbed at her phone, probably texting someone. Once I sat down, she looked up. A short and surprised sound escaped her lips. You're late. Only because you replied so late. I was busy doing project stuff. It rewrote the entire list of ideas we had, but in better handwriting. She showed it to me and puffed out her chest as if she actually did something productive. Aceline greeted us out of nowhere with a steaming cup of mocha and sat down next to Emily. So, what are we going to start on? I was thinking we should start on choosing the subject first. We chose something while you were late, actually. The player guesses 3 cards out of a normal deck: Ace to King, Spades to Hearts. Then they choose a random card, and if it matches one of the 3 they guessed, they get double what they put down. If not, then obviously they lose it all. I figured it was fun to play, not too difficult to win. Well, it sounds good enough to me. By the way, I brought the cards you wanted. Thanks. Emily and I didn't have any, so I asked her to ask you. She got shy, you see. I don't text anyone other than my parents. The whole texting practice is nerve-wracking for me. I nodded, agreeing. Well, it was because I had no one else to text me, but I wasn't about to tell them that. Once we got past the small talk, we started on the project. Who was to do what we needed, and things like that. Once we got past... Oh. Okay, it refreshes, not with a new sentence, but with a sentence lower, and it's confusing me. Now that I think about it, we could have done this through the computer. I have no idea why Emily wanted to do this in person, but I'm here already. Just as I was about to write down a few notes on the writing portion, Emily interrupted my concentration. Hey, look over there, Aceline. She nudged Aceline a couple of times, bringing her attention over to a guy from across the room. Stop it. I already knew he was here. Aceline nudged back and tried to stop Emily's persistent attacks. Huh? Then why didn't you start to barrage me with messages about him last night? Maybe because you always make fun of me. Besides, I already knew he was in town. He just didn't tell me yet. I wonder why, Emily said in a sing-song way and shrugged. Don't look, here he comes now. Aceline hurriedly looked at her phone and half-heartedly pushed some buttons. The guy they were talking about, or at least I assume so, came to our table. Hello, Aceline, Emily. Yo, Yuki. Long time no see. Oh, this guy over here is Michael. He's working on a project with us. Yuki gave me a polite nod. Hi, Yuki. When did you come back? When did you come back? Yesterday afternoon. I meant to tell you, but then family happened. I wouldn't mind catching up with you, but you guys seem to be working. No. I mean, we talked about who has to do what, and everything else can be done at home. Aceline looked at us, not looking too desperate, but desperate nonetheless. Emily nodded and shooed her away. Yeah, there's nothing else to do other than things we can do at home. You two go ahead and chit-chat to your heart's content. If that's the case, then why don't you two come along? Aceline nodded. She probably didn't want to feel the embarrassment of being alone with him, or she felt bad for leaving us alone. Let's save. And then sure, what's the harm? Sure, I'll come along. I have things to do for English anyway, so I'll talk to you guys later. Nice seeing you again, Yuki. We all yelled our goodbyes as she rushed out the door. She sure did leave in a hurry. Well then, would you two mind walking around the park nearby? I wanted to get some pictures of a few birds when I got back. It'll be boring, just a warning. My voice. Not at all. I'm fine with it. I don't mind either. That's why I said I would come along, right? This probably came off badly, but Yuki nodded at my response and held open the door for the two of us. So I've never seen you two together before. And like we said earlier, we're together because we're working on a project. Safe to assume you're a junior like Aceline. Yeah? Why, what grade are you? Actually, I graduated last year. I'm already in my first year of college. Oh, hold on a second. Someone's calling me. Yuki walked a safe distance away with his back facing towards us. That's probably his brother. His family always bugs him, but he never complains about it. Although I wish he would complain to me. Are you two good friends? Yep, I knew him for 2 years now, or maybe 3. Aceline's mouth opened as if to say something else, but she got cut off once Yuki came back. Sorry about that. Aceline, as you probably guessed, it was my family. They're having some sort of trouble with the computer and they're freaking out, so I should be going now. Aceline sounded disappointed earlier, but continued smiling. We can talk tomorrow, okay? Sorry for leaving so soon. It was nice meeting you, Michael. It's alright, Yuki. See you tomorrow. Same to you. Yuki scurried toward a bike rack, unlocked one of them, and rode off into the sunset. There he goes again. Are you sad? A little bit. I knew he was going to be here today, so I got myself hyped up. Hyped up to talk to him. There's always tomorrow. I guess. But sometimes he leaves the desire to say something, you know? She didn't want to talk about it at first, but she's really asking for me to say it. To say that you like him. How do you know? Geez, she picked up a few things from Emily. Intuition. Did you want to talk about it? She nodded and sat down on a nearby bench. I followed suit. Sorry, I don't really have anyone to talk about it other than Emily. Don't worry about it. It's just every time I try to gather up the courage to tell him, I just fall short whenever I get the chance. It's just frustrating sometimes. I try to give you advice, but that always happens to me too. Really? You never confess to anyone? Not really, no. There's no need to get so happy about it. Sorry. Everyone in our grade looks like they've been asked out or asked someone else out, so it's a little strange to see someone like you. You're like that too. Yeah, but you know what I mean. I'm just teasing you. I laughed nervously and awkwardly put my hands at my sides. Smoothed. Anyway, you two are probably gonna meet up tomorrow, right? Just force yourself to say it tomorrow. No matter what, even if he's about to leave. Spit it out and don't worry about his response. You'll never know. Aceline hesitantly nodded and did an "I'll try my best" motion. When she looks like this, I can't help but wish she'll get rejected. Yeah, I don't really know how to feel about that too. It's like, hey, I want you to be happy because you are like the nicest person right now. But then it's like, oh, it's another guy. He's also... How old are we? Sorry, I had to get some water. We're like 17. And he's probably 18 or 19. Somewhat illegal? Thanks for the pep talk, Michael. I'll try really hard to tell him tomorrow. I smiled. Even if we won't talk again after the project, it's nice to see I could help her out. Do you want to look around? Since we're here and all. Yeah. She hopped off the bench and pulled me up. We spent the next few hours window shopping, but eventually parted ways. Thoughts about her swirled throughout my mind, which made it fairly difficult to sleep that night. Damn it, it's too early for that. Propping myself up, I sleepily rubbed my eyes and wiped away my drool. My phone's alarm, a very boisterous rooster, continued to ring. Making sure I woke up every day was the only thing good about it. I turned it off, stumbled off my bed, and stared at my bright computer screen. There was nothing else to do today, so I could work on my part of the project. I chose... Excuse me. I chose not to. No harm in putting it off for a few more minutes. Choosing to leave my computer behind, I went out. My voice. I'm out of water. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry, had to go grab some water. Choosing to leave my computer behind, I went out and gobbled down some cereal before heading out for the park. If I'm lucky, I'll come up with something good for my part on the project. After arriving, I laid down on a hill and painstakingly pushed small buttons on my phone to play Sudoku. When I paused the game to gather my thoughts, my eyes roamed around and eventually landed on a familiar-looking girl. Actually, wasn't that Aceline? I squinted my eyes and confirmed. It was indeed Aceline. She was quietly crying, I assume, while holding her head low. Emily wasn't there at all. I walked over to check up on how she was doing. Oh, it's just you. She sniffled, and rubbed her eyes with the back of her hand. Yeah, it's just you too. Are you okay? Maybe I'm just feeling under the weather. Wanna talk about it? She nodded, gave a small hiccup, and apologized so quietly I wouldn't have heard it if this wind suddenly blew. Well, I tried to tell Yuki, you see. I could already see where this was going. I got nervous again, so I didn't say it. Is that why you were crying? You could try again next time. It's not that. He told me he had about someone he liked, and it would have been really rude to stop listening. So I just kept hearing him talk, and you can still try. They're not going out right now unless you left that out. He didn't ask her yet. I could keep trying. I'm sorry for bringing your date down. Don't worry about it too much. Now, are you feeling better? She rubbed her eyes and tried to look her best again. I feel a lot better after telling someone, at least. I'm sorry for talking about myself so much. That's fine. I don't mind. Why don't we talk about you? It'll help get my mind off my own love life. She hummed as if she thought hard about what to ask, still sniffling from time to time. Do you like anyone? Hey, don't try to make it look like you were gonna ask some sort of philosophical question. Sorry, I was honestly curious yesterday. Besides, there's no one I like. No one you even remotely like? I told you who I like already, it's only fair. It's not fair if you're playing like that. Seems like she found my weak spot. My heart can't stand cute girls pouting. Well, I'm not telling you who, but I became friends with her only recently. It doesn't matter, you gotta ask her out. You seem more courageous than me anyway. She likes someone else, actually. Even if she didn't, I still wouldn't be brave enough to ask. Is she going out with that guy? I don't believe so, no. Then follow your own advice. Ask her out. Like I said, I don't have that much confidence. I don't have that much courage either, so you have to ask her out so that I can too. Easy enough for her to say. You wanna ask her out too? No, to Yuki. Stop teasing me. Not like I have to, since I don't like her to the point of asking her out. It's more of a crush, you understand? You should ask her now instead of waiting such a long time like me. You'll just end up losing her. I couldn't come up with any more excuses on the top of my head. Either way, she was getting impatient. It's, yeah? She nodded multiple times, telling me to get on with it. It's you, I guess. What? What? Why would you like someone like me anyway? We've only known each other for a couple of days at most. We didn't even spend that much time together. Are you saying I can't like someone unless I've spent years being friends? Sorry, it's just I'm not used to hearing something like that. I'm sorry, I still like Yuki though, so... I sighed. This was why I didn't want to say anything in the first place. Yeah, that's kind of what I expected from the start. I got off the bench, wanting to leave before I made a bigger fool of myself. I'll leave now, since I'm just embarrassing myself even more the longer this conversation goes. She tugged weakly on my jacket. She probably wanted me to stay, so I did. So, she looked away and twiddled with her hair. I don't really know what to say in this kind of situation. I smiled at her remark. Truth is, I didn't know what to say either. There's not much to say, is there? I mean, you still like Yuki, and well, for me, I guess I'll have to dilly-dally around. Dilly-dally? Well, I guess I do still like him. But, you know, maybe if I try hard enough, they'll go away. And, we could try it out. Going on a date. I looked at her, dumbfounded. I expected nothing to come out of this once I told her. So what does this mean? I'll have to wait for you? Something I'd expect a girl to do, but it's not like anyone else will catch my mind anytime soon. When you think about it, it is waiting. I wouldn't mind going on dates with you, but I wouldn't mind doing that if I still like him, you know? I nodded. Having my first relationship be a rebound wasn't something I had planned in mind. You'd have to hurry up then. Who knows, if you take too long, I'll try my chances with another girl. What? I won't take long, I promise. I'm just teasing you. Anyway, let's, I looked down at my hand, then held it out. We awkwardly shook on it. I thought you were gonna stand up and pull her up, or something like that. Well then. I have a ton of time left today, so you wanna go somewhere with me? We could go to that new restaurant nearby. Or something, or whatever you'd like. Whatever you'd like. Not as a date, of course. She giggled and stood up, bringing me along with her. I couldn't... What was that? Oh, that was my email. I couldn't get rid of the rush from earlier, so I attempted to fill up the silence with mundane topics while she continued the conversation. Remembering her face from that day, she looked much brighter than she had before. It certainly does seem like a nice day. Well, nice. Choco Jacks. Neat. I do like the soundtrack. It's very good. Thank you for making it. What are extras? CG gallery. I don't know what that is. Oh. Okay. And now I need to, let's play for Emily. Pretend you didn't see her. I glanced back at her for a quick second before I continued walking. Sorry, but I would rather not get caught up in your troubles. After a few long minutes, a hand suddenly gripped my shoulder. Yo, Michael. Jeez, I've been calling you forever. I pulled out my earbuds. Sorry, I was listening to music. Actually, I wasn't sorry. I felt annoyed having my trouble-free walk ruined. Where do you live? Near the pond? I do. Well, near there. Me too. Guess we're both walking the same way home. The situation didn't seem too enticing, especially since she managed to piss me off a few times during lunch. What was your last class? Calculus. We learned about limits today. Those sound fancy. I'm actually really bad at math. Really. You're a woman, so it wouldn't surprise me. Dude, are you kidding me? Yes, really. Don't try that on me. She jokingly flicked me on the chest. Although I am really good at French. Taking AP French right now. Other people say it was hard, but it's super easy. Say something in French right now. Va te fare foutre. I don't know French. Good enough? Whoa. Never expected you to sound so French. She tried to stifle a snicker. I know that sentence was pretty idiotic. Je suis putain de génial. I don't want to know what that word means. Of course I sound French. I'm speaking French, remember? Anyway, what about you? What about me? What are you good at? Math? I'm okay in math. Honestly, I don't know what I'm good at. Not sure what to do with my life. That's a tough thing for a lot of people. Like what everyone else tells me. You're still young, you have time. Here, let me help you. What do you like doing? Reading. Sometimes I practice the piano, but I only started learning just recently, so I'm bad at that. Thinking on it now, the only thing I've really done is doing schoolwork and just being by myself. The two main things, at least. Hey, I know what you could be. A reader. Get? Didn't even think that could be considered a joke. She dumped me a couple of times until she finally noticed my scowl. I'm joking. Don't hit me, jeez. I mean, you can if you want, if that's your way of flirting. I didn't bother responding. I've never met anyone with such little shame before. Anyway. Have you tried writing before? Nothing other than essays. Since you read a lot, you could be a writer, right? I could. But that doesn't make a good writer. It wouldn't. I guess all hope's lost for you. Anyway, don't worry too much about it. You seem like the type to be a worrywart. I'm the same. I don't know what to do with my life either, but sooner or later, I'll figure it out. She sounded genuine this time. Seeing as I wasn't the only one who felt like they didn't know where to go and life made the future look less dim. This is my stop. Do you want me to walk you the rest of the way? No, it's fine. Just go ahead and retreat back to your room. I gave her a slight nod and walked up the driveway, the sound of her light footsteps fading away. So, skip? And this'll skip all... Probably shouldn't. It's alright, Emily hopped out of her seat and grabbed my shoulder, giving a thumbs up. You two go ahead. We're gonna hang out, so don't worry about leaving Mr. Loner. She winked at Aceline, grabbing all of our things, dragged me out the door, and waved them a goodbye through the window. Her outburst felt out of place, but it seemed to make Aceline happy enough. Once we were out of sight, and most likely out of mind, Emily spoke. Well then, have anything you want to do in mind? Nothing in particular. I normally like going to John's Coffee, but it'd be too weird going back in. Do you want to go to the pond? I've always wanted to go there. Why not? It's close by, isn't it? Just got across a few lights, I think. We stopped wandering aimlessly and headed towards the pond. I would expect her to start babbling off again, but this time she didn't, although she was upbeat enough to hum. You've never gone to the pond before? Nope, never. Have you? Yeah, probably half a year ago with my younger sister. I've always wanted a younger sister. Or any kind of sibling would be nice. My mom disappeared sometime after I was born, so I was stuck with my dad. He's not too great with the ladies, so I couldn't get a step-sibling either. That was all I could muster. She sounded so lighthearted about it, but I didn't want to press her about it. Emily changed the subject towards my own childhood while I tried to conjure up a question. Accepting it, I talked about how my younger sister would always annoy me and how my parents would always pester me about going out and having fun, when all I wanted to do was stay inside. She poked fun at me a few times, but paid attention to my rambling. Strangely, she sounded excited when I talked about sleeping over at my friend's place. So what do you guys do at slumber parties anyway? I always suspected that guys would mess. Please don't ask me about that. Hey, look, the pond's right over there. Yeah, it is. Look, some ducks are coming out of the river. Cute. Is that what bird is that? A seagull? They were. A few of the older ones plopped out onto land and started preening their feathers. Man, they look super adorable. I wish I brought my camera. There's a camera on your phone, isn't there? Yeah, but they're not the same. Assuming she had the same terrible phone as I did, I agreed. So why did you say no to hanging out with Aceline and Yuki? I'm just curious. Emily kneeled down and looked at the ducks. She sat a little bit too close for their comfort, so the ducks quacked and scooted away. It would have been awkward to go with them, as a third wheel. Yeah, I could see you being a third wheel and being awkward. Probably would have ruined their little date. Probably. After that, we talked about the ducks and chased them around for a little while. Emily enjoyed it, much to the ducks' dismay. Hey, Emily. Why'd you force me to go out with you? Go out? Outside. Go outside. Well, I didn't want to leave you alone, plus you're pretty fun to talk to. You mean tease, right? Yeah, tease, definitely what I was thinking of. You're an awesome teasy. Anyway, don't worry too much about it. Ha, looks like they've finally gotten tired of it. Well, that was fun. Emily stood up, swatted at her legs, then stretched her arms. We should be leaving now, because it's already 1, and I have stuff to do. Are you gonna walk me home, or what? I'll walk you. I don't have anything to do here anyway. I bet you're gonna try to put some moves on me so that you'll get something when you go home, huh? Sure I will. I was suspecting that you'd be the first one to do that, though. She laughed and ushered me to start walking. The only thing I can remember from our way home was how sweet her laugh was. Damn, it does skip it. As I walked downstairs, the doorbell rang a couple of times, sounding like a madman trying to catch my attention. I wasn't scared at all, of course. I treaded lightly and crept up to the wall so I wouldn't be seen through the windows. Peeping through the peeping hole, I saw a certain someone who certainly was familiar. Hello? Is anyone in there? Sighing, I opened the door. She looked filled to the brim with energy, and looked even brighter when I peeked out. Hey, you. How are you doing? And I just woke up. She slipped through the crack and hopped in, taking off her shoes. She looked amazingly overdressed, but I suppose she thought everything is a special occasion. And sure, let yourself in. Okie dokie. This is inside of your house. Suppose so. Why are you here? Getting straight to the point, aren't you? Well, I didn't really want to do my part in the project yet, so I figured, why not come and visit Michael? Well, why not? I also figured you wouldn't be doing your part anytime soon either, so we could both procrastinate together. I couldn't say anything back. She did guess correctly. Is anyone else here? I was about to say there were, but when she brought it up, I didn't hear anyone earlier, which brought more attention to the fact that a girl was here, alone, with me. I don't think so. Are you really stuttering? Is it because we're by ourselves? I didn't answer her, since it would only make her even more delighted than she is now. She giggled at my response. Anyway, do you have anything that's fun? Like some movie or games? Or anything, really? I scratched the back of my head. There's this little There's this movie my little sister recommended me. It's called The Things. Heard of it? Yeah, I heard of it, but I've never watched it before. Go get it, go get it. Alright. It's a horror film, just warning you. Fine, fine, you can hold me if you get scared. Pretty sure it's the other way around? She plopped onto the leather couch and as I crouched down to put the disc in. As it loaded up, I made some popcorn in preparation and sat next to her. The exposition lasted for 20 minutes or so, and the suspense finally began. I was watching intensely, feeling as if I were in the movie itself. I expected it, but when the first jump scare came up, my body jerked a bit. What I didn't expect was for Emily to grab so suddenly onto my arm, pressing herself up against it. The movie continued, but I fell out of my trance. I glanced at Emily, still watching, and looked back at the television, debating whether or not to point it out to her. Hey, you don't have a girlfriend or anything like that, do you? What's with the sudden question? She stayed silent, looking at me. Well, I don't have one, to be honest. I've never had one. Why am I stuttering at a time like this? Did she really have to ask me that now? So you don't? She gripped my arm harder. Truthfully, I knew it was going to happen, but I kept acting as if I didn't know. That's what I said, right? Anyway, why would you want to know? It's because I like you, kinda. You like me? Only kinda. I guess I kinda like you too. You only guess? She started to tease me again, making the strange atmosphere dissipate. I guess, because I had to tell the truth. I didn't think about that until what you just said. Silence ensued. Come on, Michael. After all those visual novels, you haven't learned a single thing? How long have you liked me for? It was probably embarrassing for her, but she always teased me, so that's justified. I was also curious as to why. It's not like she suddenly sprouted feelings for me today. For a while, I suppose. It was kind of why I shoehorned you into our group. Looking from an outsider's view, we were just two bumbling and embarrassing teenagers. I couldn't help it, though. Being myself was an embarrassment in its own right. Do you want to go on a date, or...? Of course I do. Jeez, I was waiting for so long for you to say something. You're the guy, so you gotta take the lead sometimes. Her whole demeanor changed again. You seem like the type of girl to take the lead all the time anyway. Don't think just because I was shy earlier. I'll be shy when I'm doing other things. And then what happened was like out of a cheesy romance book. She pulled on my arm, grabbed my face, and kissed me for what seemed to be the longest time. I'd have to admit it. It was pretty exciting, since I've never kissed anyone before. Not like I would confess that to her after this. Emily pulled away and wiped her mouth. Did you enjoy that? Yes, very much. Elated for my response, she proceeded to reward me by positioning herself on my lap, among various other things. Looks like I won't be working on that project for a few more hours. Whoa, okay. That escalated very quickly. And... Michael, Emily, Aceline. Sketches. Oh, that's cool. Happy times. Other art? Okay. Is this a comic? I don't know if it's... Oh, right to left. Okay. Are Yuki and Mr. Everett gay? Emily, do you know that I like Yuki? Pause. How do you know that? Am I too obvious? I knew it. I am, aren't I? Calm down, you're overreacting. Too obvious about what, Aceline? Nothing. She wouldn't mind if I told her that she wouldn't. Right? Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, I like the songs. And then there are credits. Yeah. This has been a simple love story. And that's what it was. And I liked it a lot. Both endings were... Okay. Emily's escalated too quickly in my opinion. But, it was good. I really liked Aceline's. So yeah. This was another short novel for Sundays. And I'll have another one up next time. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. See you next Sunday.